Hey, old new gaming here, and welcome back to another clip about Tank Company. Since my last post about the game, I asked you what should I do next, and the most votes was for the best tier 6 premium tank into the game. Now, before I start, I want to mention that it's just my personal opinion. So this top 5 can be different for some of you, but I just want to share with you what I think was the best for me. And don't worry, I try every single tier 6 premium tank into the game, and to be honest with you, they are quite many of them. I think in total there are 56 premium tier 6 tanks you can choose from, and I will choose only 5 tanks to put them in my top 5 best premium tanks in Tank Company. On the place number 5, we have the T-26E4, the American Tier 6 heavy tank. Now, this tank, it's more like a combination between a medium and a heavy tank, and it's working quite well. What is good about this tank is that it's having armor, and because the most player base of the tank company are bots, they are going to struggle to pen your tank. Also, I want to mention that my top 5 is because of the bots, because they are 80% of the player base, and you want to do as much damage as possible. And to dodge them, you need to have at least some armor. That's why I have T-26E4 on number 5. So it have armor. The armor is quite good. We can check that in the armor inspection that this game have actually. We have about 200 upper plate and lower plate, frontal armor very well. We have some turret armor that is quite hard to pen. Of course, the tank have some weak spots. For example, you have two cupolas on the top. The left one it's much harder to pen, but the right one it's easier. Also, you can pen the tank beneath the gun mantle, and we have a weak spot on the front of the upper plate. Also, the tank have very good DPM for heavy tanks. It's decent. I will not say it's the best, but it's okay. The dispersion 0.32, not the greatest, but the aiming time it's quite okay. 2.21 aiming time seconds. Also, you have 10 degrees of gun depression, which are very good on any reach hill you want to go, and of course you have decent mobility for a heavy tank. At number 4 we have the Panzer 58 prototype. This tank features a very fast reload time, quite decent mobility for a medium, and also have very good gun handling. It's playing very similar to any medium tanks into the game, but it have the advantage of the DPM and very short reload time, which is only 4.4 seconds. You need to make sure that you have every single collaborative training skill on every single crew member, and also that you need to have the star commander to boost that DPM as maximum. I'm usually using this setup of skills on every single tank I have, but for tanks that reload faster you can use this skill to train that even more. Also, the high explosive penetration is very good. 84, it's not bad for a medium tank. You can use that to pen every single low armor tanks, and if you ask me, there are many that you are going to encounter into the battle. On place third, it's Jagdpanzer 4-5. This was my first premium tank into the game, and it was very good if you ask me. I really love this tank even now. I think it's one of the best, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. And of course, it's the second German tank in my top 5. one of the best camo among any tier 6 tanks, and one of the best DPM among them. It's about 3k with the same Q skills I told you before. We have very good gun handling as well, 0.26 dispersion and also 1.6 aiming time. That is going to help you a lot at sniping at long range. The shell velocity, it's very decent at 1150, and we have decent pan 232 on APCR. Yeah, you have APCR as standard shells. You have 8 degrees of gun depression, and of course, you have very good mobility. If you are going to use adrenaline crew cooling system, which I have already in collaborative training, you are going to achieve 75 top speed, which it's crazy if you ask me. And also, I told you that the camo, it's one of the best at any tier 6, it's 28.56%. At the second place, we have another German tank, which is RH.B. I know the name is quite long. I'm not going to read all of that because I actually don't know how to say it, so I'm going to call it RH.B. This tank, it's a tank destroyer as we have before, and it's like, I don't know how many of you, but this tank, it's not a copy of the design, but the stats are exactly like Scorpion from World of Tanks or World of Tanks Blitz. You have the same crazy alpha damage, which is here is for 19, which is very good if you ask me. Very good pen, 246. You have also decent gun handling, 0.27, and aiming time 1.93. Minus 7 of gun depression, not bad for a full traverse turret tank destroyer. The mobility, it's decent, also 62 top speed if you are using my setup of skills and of supplies, of course. Camera rating is not the greatest. I forgot to tell you that the fourth, third, and this and second place don't have any kind of armor, so you need to be careful about that. Also, the camo, it's bad on this tank, only 30.50%. You need to be careful. Usually you shoot and go back to make you sure that you are not going to get hit by an enemy tank. But if you manage to do all of that, that very good alpha damage combined with the good pan and decent reload time, it's going to be a disaster for the enemy team. And on the first place is the Russian heavy tank K91. Many of the people I talk about this tank told me that this tank is overpowered. Now, it's not. It have some weak spots, but I'm going to tell you why I think it's on the first place. First of all, it's a heavy tank with the mobility of a medium tank, which is also crazy. And don't worry, you have armor. Yeah, you have armor in this tank. If you manage to hide that lower plate and the double cupola on the top, you are going to be very strong onto the battlefield. Now, the downside about this armor is that you have only 5 degrees of gun depression, and that's quite bad if you ask me. You cannot pick on hills, so you need to be careful how you are going to approach your next target. Also, the gun handling are not the worst and not the best either. 0.30, it's quite bad, let's say. 2.58, it's not bad for a heavy at aiming time. But what you have, it's armor and mobility that it's going to help you a lot. You can play this tank like a medium, like a heavy. It's good also for side script as much if you hide that lower plate. We have 300 alpha damage. I told you about the armor and of course of the mobility. Have 48, almost 50 top speed with the heavy tank, which is crazy. And without to say anything else, I think this is going to end my top 5 with the best tier 6 premium tanks. Now, before I will end the video, I want to tell you that there are very many other premium tanks that I didn't talk about. Maybe next time we can do another video with the top 5 worst premium tanks you can have at tier 6. So that's been said, I was only gaming, thanks for watching, and I wait you for your next votes on my YouTube channel. Bye.